Hello students, in the previous classes as we have discussed breathing, respiration, how does breathing takes place, what and all are the part of respiratory system. Today class we will discuss how does breathing process takes place and what kind of changes takes place in our chest cavity whenever air is taken inside. Okay, so let's see. As we know, we have the respiratory parts or respiratory organs in that nasal passage is involved, oral cavity, pharynx which is behind the nasal cavity, and here only we find the epiglottis. Epiglottis is the kind of tissue which control the regulate the food particle, which control the entering of food particle into the windpipe. Okay, that is controlled by epiglottic tissues. Okay, now then we have a trachea. This is the trachea. It is also called windpipe. Trachea is divided in two parts, that is called bronchus. What we call that? Bronchus. Okay, then we have small tube kind of structure. As you can see, these are called bronchioles. What do we call them? Bronchioles. These are the part of our lungs. Okay, and these part only helps to take care in and exchange of gases takes place due to these parts only, and these structures, small bag kind of structure, sac kind of structure, they are called alveoli. What are they called? Alveoli. Fine. And these are the ribs. They are the bony structure made up of 12 bones which protect our lungs from the injury when we have any fall, any accident, when we sleep or any other activities takes place. During that our lungs should not get harmed, so they are protected in the bony cage that is called rib cage. Okay, and this is called diaphragm. This is a muscular layer which helps to hold the ribs and the lungs on their position. That's a function of the diaphragm. Fine. So not only this, even in our nasal passage we have some fine hair kind of structure, very fine hair. What is the function of those hair? In the nostril, mucus and fine hairs are present. Those hairs filters the air, because when we inhale air it contains many smoke, dust particle which should not enter in our lungs, otherwise they will be damaged or there may be other kind of infections. So protect from these dust particles, some microorganism. These hairs perform as a filtering unit. Okay, they work as a filtering unit and help to filter the air before entering into the lungs. Correct. And mucus is a sticky substance is produced in our nasal cavity or in the nose, and the mucus in the nasal cavity protect the nose, inside lining of the nose, moist, so that there will be no problem because of friction of air when we inhale. Right. Now what change takes place when we breathe actually? So when we breathe, have you observed during the breathing our chest get swollen or it comes out? When we breathe, you keep a hand on your chest and breathe in and breathe out. So what you feel change in your chest cavity when you breathe in and breathe out? Actually when we breathe in that case our air is taken in the lungs, so our ribs little moves outward. Ribs move little outward. Due to that, what we feel some kind of expansion in our chest cavity. So that is just because of lungs are filled with air and they need more space. This is called expansion. So our ribs moves outward. Ribs move little outward, so we feel some kind of swollen expansion in our chest cavity. Not only this, even our diaphragm moves downside when we breathe. Diaphragm moves downside. You can see diaphragm moves downside during the inhalation process. Just opposite process takes place when we breathe out. When we breathe out, what happen? Air forced to outside. So in that case, the ribs which were moves out during the inhalation, they moves back into their position. Okay, when we exhale out, and in diaphragm, what happened? Diaphragm moves backside. First it was moving down, now again it goes to the upside. So how can you remember the trick? What change takes place during the breath in or breath out? So you can it ribs out, ribs moves out, and diaphragm moves down, out, down. Okay, since ribs are first, just small funny tricks to remember the thing. So ribs moves out, and diaphragm is down. So diaphragm is down, so out, down, like that you can remember, because diaphragm is the last note, so remember it will be easy. Now during the breath out, what happened? Ribs moves back, and even diaphragm also moves up. Moves back means first it was in the position only. During the breath it comes down. It came down. Now when we breathe out, it moves back on their position. So you can remember it: back, up, out, down, and back, up. Ulta. Reverse process takes place actually. It moves out, it goes down, which diaphragm goes down. Now ribs moves back, diaphragm moves up. So this is the reverse process in the breathing process. Practically you want to clear it. How much chest cavity expands, whether is it true or not, our chest cavity expands when we breathe in. You can first, normally when you exhale out, you take the measurement of chest with the help of measuring tape. Okay, afterwards you breathe in, or you can say take a deep breath and hold air in, and then again you measure the your chest with the help of measuring tape. And now see, previous when we breathe out, that time how much is the measurement, and after breathe in how much is the measurement. So with that you will be finding some difference. So that by this activity you can conclude that actually whenever we breathe in, what happens? Chest cavity expands. Now here we can conduct one activities also. With the help of that we can find out how actually our lungs work. Okay, so here they have taken one bottle. You can take water can or big plastic bottle. In that, from the bottom you have to cut. Which part? From the bottom part. From bottom part you need to cut it down. And here you make a balloon or rubber sheet. Okay, thin, very thin rubber sheet, and fix it at this place. Fix it at this place, and tightly we have to making it permanently, or we can say to hold it tightly we can fix a rubber band, so that here that rubber sheet, or you can say deflated balloon, big balloon you can take, which can be stretched more, that also we can fix, and tightly we can put it with the help of rubber band. And at this part, which part? At the mouth of the bottle, what we can take? We can take one this kind of pipe, plastic pipe, which is Y shaped. Okay, which is Y shaped, means from here it is coming one pipe and it is dividing into parts, so that when we take the air in, what will happen? This air will divide two parts. This is the trachea, that become bronchi. Fine. And here we have taken, we need to fix two deflated balloons, means those the balloon which do not have air. Now this brown color you are seeing, that is the cork. With the cork we have to close the mouth of the bottle tightly, so that it will become airtight. Now what we should do to see the functioning of our heart, we need to pull that. You can see in the picture, this person is pulling the thin layer of the rubber or the balloon. It is pulling. When it pulls, what happens? The low pressure is created and the air is sucked in. Air is sucked in through this pipe. Through this pipe, air is sucked in, which will be filled into both balloons. When which air will be filled in this balloon, balloon is inflated, mean full of air. The same thing happen when we breathe in. When we breathe in, what happen? Our lungs will be filled with air, and the diaphragm. This layer is working as a diaphragm. We can consider this layer work as a diaphragm. Okay. Now this is the case when we breathe in. Now what happened in the case of second process, there's a exhalation, or when we moves out the air. This person, you can see, he is pushing this layer upside. When he pushes the layer upside, what happened? Air is thrown out. Air is thrown out through this pipe, through this tube, you can say. Okay, then when we throw out, what happened? Because of low pressure, what happened? This air is thrown out, and these balloon again, they deflated. They are deflated because air is thrown out, exhale out from these balloons. So this is how our lungs work. So by this activity, we can see when we inhale, what happen? Our diaphragm moves down. Okay, this layer is, we can think as diaphragm. And when air is thrown out, air is exhale out, that time what happens? The diaphragm moves up. Okay, so this is how our lungs function. With activity we clarify.